Hello and welcome back to Core Finance, here live from the RAC Club in the heart of Mayfair. I'm joined by Jay Gomez from Triay and Triay. You are a lawyer and you've been speaking today about Gibraltar and funds and what can happen for funds potentially in a post-Brexit environment. So first off, a year ago the vote happened in Gibraltar. I think a lot of Gibraltarians were very disappointed with the result, but we've got to look forward now, and a large amount of business is conducted in Gibraltar with regards to funds, regulated funds. What is the future? What potentially does the future hold for these businesses and funds regulated in Gibraltar?
You're exactly right. I think the jurisdiction was a little bit shocked at first with the Brexit result. We've been primarily EU facing. We joined the EU with the UK back in 1973, I believe it was. So what we've been doing since then is preparing for Brexit. We've been working with the government of Gibraltar to ensure that our funds regime and our funds products are fit for a post-Brexit world, and at the same time ensuring that our products are able to continue being used by UK fund managers, and that they can be passported into the UK using the commitment that the UK government has given that the Gibraltar will be able to continue accessing the UK market.
Fantastic. And with regards to Brexit, it was a vote to leave Europe and not to leave Gibraltar. So as you've already intimated, the agreements are there to still have the passports and that fantastic relationship with the UK, and that hopefully isn't going to change. But looking ahead and looking at the landscape with regards to passporting into Europe, and that now seems unclear at this point, and it's very hard to dictate where that's going to go. What do you see as potential threats from the negotiations and potential opportunities, certainly for Gibraltar, on that front?
I made the point during my speech that I think we are on the Brexit journey together with the United Kingdom. We're still unsure as to what access, if any, Gibraltar and the United Kingdom will have to the European market. So from our end, it's as you've said, ensuring that the legislative framework for the Gibraltarian fund products continue to be in place to allow access into the UK, and if there is some form of access into the EU, to ensure that our products are able to take advantage of that access and continuing passporting into the European market.
And you mentioned in your speech, you're also talking about being fast to market, and Gibraltar being in a position where people can access the market and access the fund market. Can you just briefly talk us through some of the initiatives that you have in Gibraltar that maybe differ from the UK, and as you rightly say, fast to market and good for investors in funds?
So the key to this is the regulator. And ensuring that our regulator is well resourced to ensure that they can process applications efficiently and quickly, and ensure that those products are brought to market as quickly as possible. We also have some unique products. For example, I mentioned the Experienced Investor Fund, where there is a deemed authorization process, and that is unique to Gibraltar, and it works on the basis of the service providers being in place, the administrator, the auditor, the directors, and having legal sign-off as well, confirming that the offer document complies with Gibraltar law. And that is a perfect example of the way that Gibraltar ensures that it has that speed to market and retains its competitiveness over other EU jurisdictions and non-EU jurisdictions as well.
Understood. And you talked about initiatives with regards to non-domicile directors and how this could benefit funds going forward. So just briefly touch on that. And it does feel, that you need to be innovative in this environment, and it's important to be innovative to attract business and continue growing Gibraltar's financial base.
So that's exactly right. One of our key concerns as the Gibraltar Funds and Investments Association was ensuring that our products remain competitive for the post-Brexit world. So the journey that we embarked on about a year ago now was to review those products and ensure that we could carry on competing with both the traditional EU domiciles but also the non-EU fund domiciles, who in the future will no doubt be our key competitors. And one of the key initiatives there was what we perceived to be a potential disadvantage from our funds product, was to restrict it solely to have two local Gibraltar directors. So what we've been working on very closely with government and with the regulator is to ensure that we can allow foreign directors to form part of the two-director requirement on the experienced investor fund. Now, in no way does that mean that we're lowering the bar. Those individuals, non-residents, will be expected to be fit and proper and to have a sufficient level of expertise to conduct their activities appropriately.
And you mentioned fit and proper. There are key principles that a lot of people operating in the UK will be familiar with when it comes to regulation. And again, these are mirrored in Gibraltar. So by no means, Gibraltar is not a soft touch. You have a same regulatory framework. But would you say it's more flexible? You will review things on a case-by-case basis rather than looking at a one-size-fits-all, as other regulators may.
That's right. So the Gibraltar Financial Services Commission works very closely with the UK FCA. They're continuously in touch. They share information. We have to ensure that we're quick to market, that we are able to review things in an efficient manner. And that's really where the Gibraltar regulator comes into play, ensuring that their team are up to speed, they're familiar with the market. It also means that us as the industry have to help the regulator through that process. So in many cases, we actually act as a first barrier to the jurisdiction to ensure that no new entrants pose a risk to the jurisdiction. So we try and also help the regulator through that process and only present to them potential candidates who we think are fit and proper and are able to conduct their activities appropriately.
Jay, well, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to your breakfast, but thank you so much for joining us here on Core Finance. Thank you.